We've been a Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, on our guests. Show of hands, who's bought some electricity today? Electricity, it's available in America as a double cheeseburger in McDonald's. Isn't that what something that separates civilized from uncivilized society? Or at least one of the things it does? But you don't really buy electricity like you don't buy the bun on the double cheeseburger. You know the story of the double cheeseburger bun? You buy it from this guy, who buys it from this guy, who buys it from another guy, and finally one of those guys is a wheat farmer. So really we're buying wheat by the bushel, so to speak. Electricity is about the same way. You buy it from this guy, you buy it from this guy, who finally one of those guys owns a power plant. And he spins his turbine in the power plant to make electricity. There's not a big river nearby. Then he heats water to make steam to spin his turbine to make electricity. Usually you use coal or natural gas. With nuclear power plants, they introduce a neutron to uranium to make a little atomic bomb to heat the water. So really we're buyers of coal, natural gas, and radioactive uranium. It's important you know this because in a free society where you can choose what you buy when you go shopping. And with the billions of dollars we spend every year on energy, you can dictate how these products are used. Nuclear energy has been remanufactured these days as a green or pollution-free energy alternative. I guess they forgot about the spent fuel rods in their 256-year half-life. However, of the traditional choices, nuclear energy is the least polluting of all the traditional choices, as long as it works right. Big problem if it doesn't. Natural gas is also saying that they're going green these days. Just because natural gas is not as polluting as gasoline does not mean it's actually a green choice. These are just old industries trying to re-market themselves as green. Kind of like getting a good deal on a cassette deck. Then there's coal. King coal, as it's known in some parts. It is by far our energy or fuel of choice. Over half of all electricity is made by the burning of coal. And it is cheaper to dig it out of the ground, load onto a train, ship it to a power plant near you, and burn it there than any other thing that they have out there. At least in dollars. And that's really no small consideration. But it's also the dirtiest fuel they have. In fact, it's so dirty, they've created an entirely different industry to combat all the bad press they get. Have you heard of clean coal? Clean coal is this process where they take some of their waste, mix it with water, pump it to some place where there's some space in the earth, like a depleted oil field. Pump it down in there. Out of sight, out of mind. Or maybe a ticking time bomb. So these are your choices. You can, the old school type thing where you dig something out of the ground and burn it, although now on a very massive scale. Or some advanced technology like atomic power with some possible bad side effects. The sheer size of our electrical system is really the big issue. Our ravenous appetite for energy. The massive amount of money is invested, hundreds of power plants being built, maintained, tens of thousands of people employed. so we can have power anywhere in America 24/7. But at what cost? I mean, we're pumping toxic waste into the air, into the ground, tearing apart the landscape of the country. Miners die every year. We have these tenuous relationships with not so friendly neighbors, and then the constant threat of radioactive fallout. With the technology being produced today, the inventions that we're having today, this is not the time to try to address these issues. If not now, when? As long as we keep buying double cheeseburgers, Mickey D's will be right around the corner. And we'll be big buyers of coal, natural gas, and radioactive uranium until switches like that light switch say that it will cause unrepairable environmental damage and possibly cause radiation poisoning.